Last week, a team of astronomers released the news that planet lovers were happy to hear. Pluto, the public's favorite dwarf planet, might have its planet status returned to it. 10 years after its demotion, poor Pluto might finally receive some respect. But Pluto is not a planet and should not recover that status. Its classification as a dwarf planet is more useful to astronomers than being nice to this body at the edge of our solar system. Pluto became a planet in the first place basically because they found it. It was 1930 and astronomers were intrigued by the idea that there was another planet out there. Clyde Tombaugh, an astronomer in New Mexico, noticed a blurry spot much further out than anything astronomers had noticed before. It was Pluto, and it entered the planet ranks. Astronomers kept watching the edge of space where Pluto lives, the Kuiper Belt, in the following years. As imaging and measurement methods improved, they began finding more and bigger objects in the area surrounding Pluto. In 2003, astronomer Michael Brown of Caltech found the inevitable, an object bigger than Pluto, Aries. This prompted the astronomical community to consider, what counts as a planet? Should Aries be a planet, and we increase the planet count to 10? But what if we find other, bigger bodies? If we've already found one object bigger than Pluto, aren't the chances of finding another one pretty good? So in 2006, the International Astronomical Union, composed of thousands of astronomers, decided they had to make a decision and formally define the term planet. They decided upon 3 criteria. First, the planet has to orbit a star. This means that all moons don't count. Pluto does. Second, the planet has to have enough mass to pull itself into a nearly round shape. Asteroids don't count, but Pluto does. Finally, the planet has to have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. This was ambiguous in the original 2006 resolution, but more rigorous definitions have followed. What this orbital clearing criterion means is that as the body orbits around the sun, it has to do so pretty much alone. The planet has to be big enough to make anything that comes near it, such as asteroids, either a part of itself or fling them out of its local space. Here Pluto fails. It simply isn't big enough. It orbits the sun with a lot of other space stuff. So astronomers had to draw a line to make sense of what they knew, and Pluto behaved differently than the other 8 planets. So it was demoted to a dwarf planet, while Aries, its competitor, was promoted. Pluto still doesn't clear its orbit. The only reason this debate is still alive today is due to public perception. People were sad when Pluto wasn't a planet anymore, going so far as to recommend legislation allowing Pluto's planethood. The first images of Pluto from New Horizons, including a heart-shaped crater, revamped public interest in the body. The pro-planet argument suggests that the definition of a planet is arbitrary anyway, so they should just be able to tweak it and include Pluto. But as soon as they do that, over 100 other bodies join as well, making it less useful. The still fighting astronomers and Pluto lovers have to accept that the planet classification makes sense of expanding understanding of the universe. By being able to apply distinct definitions to new things, astronomers can better understand other solar systems. And at the end of the day, although Pluto doesn't care what we call it, the dwarf planet classification allows it to be king of the Kuiper Belt rather than the last in a line of planets.